Greetings, colleagues, fellow teachers and educators around the world. I am Nikos Sifakis. Hello from my hometown, Athens, Greece. Let me begin the video with a big thank you to you all out there, teachers of English and colleagues, for your very positive reaction to this channel. I really appreciate this and look forward to your continuing feedback and comments. I would also like to thank my colleagues at NCKU in Tainan, Taiwan, for making sure my 3 weeks in Tainan, Kaohsiung and Taipei were so interesting, fun and fruitful. Thank you especially to Professors Wenli Zhou and Fei Chen, and thank you to all the tutors, teachers and students with whom I had many amazing conversations. So, on today's Everything English Language Teaching, I want to take a closer look at an area of teaching and learning that tends to be neglected to a lesser or greater degree. That is using English. What do I mean by using English? Well, a number of things. First of all, being exposed to the language mainly through the so-called receptive skills, listening and reading, and then producing it through the so-called productive skills, speaking and writing. All this is of course understood by everyone. What I'd particularly like to draw attention to is the different types of exposure to English. In the traditional, typical world of EFL, English as a foreign language, English is first and foremost used in the classroom, in the language classroom. In other words, it is the classroom that is the environment where learners feel safe and secure to be exposed to and produce English that is exactly at the right level of difficulty for them. And in this way, through appropriate activities and tasks, they can scaffold their learning of the language. Right? Well, not quite. You see, research shows that the discourse that learners are exposed to in the classroom is not always the one we think it is. Classroom discourse can be divided into many different types. Probably one of the more extensive and dominating one is management talk. That is when the teacher gives guidelines or instructions to learners for carrying out certain tasks or when ensuring discipline. This type of management talk varies enormously, of course, from situation to situation and from level to level. It's not always that extensive. But the truth is that in EFL contexts, you find a lot of this type of talk. It's the talk of schooling. It's what makes the classroom context what it is. Essentially, a four-walled room with people who put their trust in a specific system with an aim to raising their level of proficiency in the foreign language. While this may be true, research is clear. For many, many years now, we've known three things. 1, we learn a language when we use it. 2, that language use has to be truly communicative. And 3, true communication happens when we genuinely want it to happen. It's as simple as that. What do these 3 points mean and how are they relevant for us as teachers? Well, it means that language is not like mathematics, physics, history or any other school subject. Studying language in the traditional sense of the term, like we study a mathematical problem, for example, will make you knowledgeable about the language, but it will not necessarily make you able to use it. Take, for example, the teaching of ancient Greek or Latin in many school or university contexts. The emphasis is almost predominantly on studying the rules of grammar and syntax, and never really on learning to use these languages, and of course for good reason. Now, using a living language means putting it in a communicative context. And this is done to a large extent in EFL classes. But EFL classes also have a lot of management talk, as we've said, that comes from the teacher. Again, giving instructions, issuing guidelines, ensuring discipline. And this is not what true communication is all about. How do we know this? Well, each and every one of us and each one of our students are expert communicators in their own L1. We can always tell when a task is truly communicative or not. And how can we measure the level of communication in a task? By the extent to which we want to do it. Not because we are good students and always do what our teacher tells us, but because there is a feeling of true and genuine involvement in what we are asked to do. This is what motivation is all about. What's the bottom line? Motivation to use English is paramount for learning English. So what we have to ask ourselves as teachers of English is this. What type of English are my learners exposed to in my classroom? What types of tasks do they carry out? What is the inherent communicative value of these tasks? To what extent are these tasks just grammar drills? More importantly, what is the motivational value of these tasks? Do my learners carry them out for my sake, for me, to meet my own demands as teacher? Or do they do them because they want to do them? There are other things to consider here. My role as teacher during these tasks. What is it? Do I provide feedback? And if so, at which point and what type of feedback? Am I interested in correcting my learners' performance? And I'm referring here primarily to speaking tasks. And to what extent do I let these tasks breathe? These are very interesting topics that I will be returning to in the forthcoming videos. What are your own views about the importance of use in English language teaching and learning? Do you share my view that it is of paramount importance for language learning? Do you also believe that for language use to take place in the classroom, we need to make our tasks truly motivational for our learners? And how can we achieve that? Please let me know in your comments below the video how you make your own tasks motivational and how you prompt communicative use of English in your own classroom. I'm really interested in your own perspective. Also, please continue to send me your suggestions for topics to raise in these videos. I read all your comments and thank you very much once again for them. If you enjoyed this video, please click on the like button and share it with your colleagues. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to click the bell to receive updates. I look forward to communicating with you. Bye for now.